Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There we go. Hey, gang. Welcome to Up the Middle. It's Wednesday, and I had it. We were all ready, and I was going to talk about. It was done, and it is done. And I'll still probably film it and just release it a little later. I'm going to let you give it a chance to watch this one first. Uh, but I wanted to start today with a story about trans athletes competing with biological athletes. Like if I'm male to female, I'm competing with other biological females, and going from fourth place is the case that we've got as a male swimmer to overwhelming first place as a female swimmer, and then sharing the locker room with the female athletes still with male parts. And we're like, okay, well, I think somewhere along the line something got a little rushed, maybe. So I finally found a topic and the time to report on it where the far left has gone clearly way too far. And what happened? Once again, I'm pulled in another direction, back to the far right, where today I have to report on a disgrace and the last straw. So why are conservatives so pissed? Well, first let's reach out to this guy, Aroma by Peter. Let's see, put also up. Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? There we go. Aroma by Peter. You can get his candles. They're amazing. We got one burning right here. It's kind of getting down to the bottom, Peter, if you're hearing me. aromabypeter.com/Yergz. That link works. It's there. So he'll know that you got his information from us. And yeah, it's I'm not gonna pick it up and put it in the camera like I usually do because it's too far down. It's gonna be too hot. Salted caramel. I always forget. It's been like 2 or 3 months we've been burning this one candle. I think I would know by now what it is. It's salted caramel. It smells amazing. Yeah, I mean, I love what the studio smells like. It's Studio Yergz right now with that one. We got some others that we're going to place an order for and get in here because we're going to be in desperate need soon enough. But yeah, Aroma by Peter, get his stuff. They smell great. I went through his website. We've done that on previous episodes. And looked at everything, and he's got some amazing different flavors there that I am really psyched to try out. Also, I got to slide over for this. For those of you watching, for those of you not watching, you're familiar with what's on the screen right now. It is the album cover, the podcast cover for Up the Middle. You can find anywhere you want to be. If you want to find where you can listen to us to on whatever podcast directory or whatever profile on a social media platform, within the next week and a half, you will be able to go to, I'm going to take this virtual background off for a minute so you can see the whole thing. There we go. There's a green screen behind me in case you're wondering. I actually do use one. It makes things look a lot better. You can go to yergz.com. And one of the tabs will be like your equivalent to Linktree, like the equivalent to a Linktree. And I got to put a virtual background back up. Give me a second, everybody. There we go. That's why we're pissed today, in case you haven't figured out. Yergz.com, go to the page there where you can see everything, wherever we're at. Regardless of the platform, regardless of the directory, there will be a link so you can get us. And if you go to Yergz.com, you might as well just stay at Yergz.com because soon enough, once the site is actually released, you'll be able to watch and go back and rewatch and listen, whichever way you prefer, right on the website. And again, we're expecting that to be released in the next 2 weeks. So that's pretty awesome. We're absolutely psyched about that. So why are we pissed? Let me get my comments back. Hold on, gang. Sorry. America has been humiliated, debauched, and debased. A warning about how our civilizations unravel from within, said Stephen Miller. I actually knew that guy. Stephen Miller, a former Trump advisor. The ideological coup is complete, said Ben Shapiro gets his ass kicked by like every remotely liberal journalist. He's stupid enough to go on the program, and he never has any information, including with this. And yeah, he's useless, but there he is to serve as a punching bag for this story. The enemy is, this is the best one. The enemy is inside the castle walls. Okay. Said Benny Johnson from Turning Point USA. Now, if you're just as confused on who that is, it is a right wing youth group, you can imagine. And of course, our own governor from Florida, Ron, the book touring governor turned Republican presidential hopeful DeSantis, says this is the last straw. Veterans groups said this is shameful. And this is a disgrace. Not only is it a breach of U.S. flag code, but it's a glaring example of this White House's incompetence and insistence on putting their social agenda ahead of patriotism. We ran out of space. That's how long-winded this asshat was. It's Senator Roger Marshall, Republican from Kansas. Okay. So now you know why they're all upset. It's because the picture right behind me is a picture of the pride flag. That's the pride flag in the middle, called the progress flag. And what that means is, if I duck out of the way, you can see all the colors from purple to red, from going from your left to right as you're looking at it. And that black, brown, blue, pink, and white triangle that is along the I think that's called the hem, where the flag hangs from. That is trans and racial inclusion and all this other, there was the same meaning behind the original pride flag, but whatever. And if you see, it is equal as it hangs, what's called, that formation that they're in is called draped. And to the right and to the left is the Stars and Stripes, the American flag. And of course, all these Bible thumping, bigoted, hypocritical conservatives are up in arms and pissed because we're being disrespectful. Because as Senator, what's his nuts? Where is it? Hold on. We just read him. Senator from Kansas has said we have gone too far, and that it doesn't, it's a breach of U.S. flag code. Okay, well, let's take a look. Well, first of all, they're upset about this flag. None of them mentioned anything about, these so-called leaders, governors, congressmen, senators, social leaders, and poor excuses for journalists, none of whom apparently know how to use Google. And I've said that before, in the followers of these idiots, you no longer have to be able or have to need to spell Google to be able to use it. If you remember when Google first became a thing, you actually had to type in google.com and then Google whatever it is you're looking for. But none of these people that we just showed the quotes from that have an issue with that draping back there, and I'll tell you what's not wrong with it in a second. None of them have an issue with the flag that says Trump 2024. Somebody who's already a proven liar and criminal and is about to be convicted of treason, I think. I said that since 2021. And that wasn't even with anything with documents. That wasn't even with anything with Stormy Daniels. I'm telling you, the hot shit is still coming. None of these people have any issue with DeSantis 2024 flags. A blatant fascist Republican forced through the Don't Say Gay laws, legislation that restricts what schools can teach about sexuality and to whom, instead of that being decided by local governments, like damn near every state in the nation. He banned books. Ron DeSantis banned books. And I'm not talking about, the usual Catcher in the Rye or Tom Sawyer. Ron DeSantis banned books about Harriet Tubman and other racially charged subject matter that has actual history, accurate, actual history, have been found in schools all across the state in crates like you would see in the middle of a peach orchard. And all this while using the slogan, keep Florida free, is what he used when he ran for governor. And now uses the slogan, make America Florida. I'm telling the other 49 states, you don't want it. Not if you want to be able to have homeowners insurance. We've got insurance companies leaving Florida by the busloads or by the plane loads of migrant workers being sent to other states illegally. Also, this is the guy who got his ass kicked by a mouse. Court decision after court decision has been in Disney's favor. He's losing. Speaking of Disney, none of these so-called leaders are against any of the Nazi flags that are being marched around the happiest place on earth. Maybe it's now the happiest place on earth for white supremacists, because there was let's be honest, there was like a dozen. But that's okay. That's not disrespectful at all to the black and brown and Asian and gay and any Jewish, any non-white or white supremacist thinking, Floridian or other American. No, not disrespectful at all. Not opposed to any of the Confederate flags. And again, I'm in rural Florida, just outside Tampa. Within 1 mile of Studio Yergz, I know of at least 2 Confederate flags that are flying right now. At least 2, probably 3 if I looked hard enough. Definitely more when we increase that 1 mile radius to 2 miles. It raises exponentially at that distance. 2 miles from here. Not to mention the upside down distress flags. Now, what you see behind me is actually properly draped flags. With the American flag, the blue gets in the top left corner when it's draped on a wall like that or with some sort of similar background. And we're going to take a look at that. Somebody knows how to use Google, and it's not Ron DeSantis. But they have the upside down distress flag. Now, when you fly any non-symmetrical flag, such as the American flag, upside down, in other words, with the blue block of stars in the bottom corner instead of the top corner, it is a sign of distress. There's an actual purpose for flying that flag. That means you need help. If you're a ship, you've come up lame, you've lost an engine, you're damaged, you're sinking, whatever the purpose. If you're a post, a fortress, or whatever, you're under siege. People are flying that in protest just because they don't like Joe Biden. Spend 5 minutes with me. I'll show you distress. Your life is not it. We're actually economically improved since the Trump administration. And he had a lot of work to do. Because in less than 4 years, Trump damaged a severe amount of this country. So, yeah, you flying the American flag upside down is a form of distress. These are the same people that turn around and then bitch about people burning the flag for the same protest. You can't be against one and then go and do the other just because your pussy hurts. So, they're all okay with that, but this sets them in a tizzy. This past weekend, this is what they're upset about. This past weekend, President Biden hosted facilities for Pride Month. And hanging from the railings were 2 American flags and 1 gay pride flag, like I said earlier, known as the Progress flag. It is, for those of you just listening, it is a rainbow flag with the pink, white, black, brown, blue triangles coming from I forget what that part is called, the hem or the stem, something like that. It's the part of the flag that you hang the flag from, whether it's on a staff, as we'll talk about, or being draped as they are in the photo, as they were at the White House. And the above leaders, well, they need to watch up the middle. They need to watch this show because then I teach them how to use Google. Um, you just set it as the default search engine for your browser, and you don't have to type it in anymore. If they did watch this, they learned that I've been saying it. You no longer have to be able to spell Google to be able to use it. How do you fly a flag? Well, let's answer that question. Speaking of US code, it says the flag of the United States of America should be at the center. Okay, now these are not. We'll get to that. Should be at the center and at the highest point. And this is they're even with they're even with the fags. That's what they're pissed about. And at the highest point of the group, when a number of flags of states or localities or pennants of society, such as the pride flag, are grouped and displayed. Oh, we shouldn't have stopped reading. What's it say? And I meant to actually put this on the screen too, and I forgot. Let me see if I can create a banner really quick. That's what that thing's called as it appears on the screen. Welcome to the awesome world of cut and paste. Are you kidding me? All right, well, let's just say USA. I'm going to tell you where it got cut in a second as soon as I finished. There we go. So I had to shorten United States of America. That not. There we go. Okay. From US code, there it is on your screen for those of you that have video. With USA, I had to shorten that. So disclaimer: the actual code reads United States of America, but it was apparently the same. They must have did this in a seminar or used the banner section of StreamYard, one of our favorite friends. Let's put that up for a second. StreamYard, because it cut off what you see on the screen now, the code that I'm going to read in a second. The last three words, it just said display, and it cut off ed from displayed from staffs. In other words, if they're on a flagpole, then the American flag, such as when you see them in a color guard marching down the street, there's the American flag in the center with maybe the Marine flag if it's a Marine color guard, and the state if it's from a state National Guard, whatever. But these are not hanging from staffs. And I don't know if I have one. Go to my virtual backgrounds here, see if which one I got. No. Of the three that I have, for that one's cropped too tight. You can see that's the White House lawn, with a bunch of people. That's the one that I used on the thumbnail. That's the one that had a bunch of people, at the front row of that railing. This one, you can kind of see it. I'm going to sit a little bit. So that's, from the South Lawn, a view of, it's called the Roosevelt balcony. Roosevelt balcony, flags as we've discussed. If you look in like the middle, you see that black roof. That's a small room that's on a small room on the roof of the building. There's another flag there. And it's one of the other things that makes this whole situation literally go away, unless, of course, you're a Republican wanting to have something to bitch about. So apparently, in a similar issue since then, since this one flew, and I was just pointing to the progress flag, since that one had been flying um, this past weekend, apparently Danny Boy, Dan Bongino, formerly of Fox News and formerly of the Secret Service, has been flying an American flag on his desk. So we'll finish Pride Month with that one in the background, just for Danny Boy. And we'll come back to this one just in time for the 4th of July and Independence Day. So that's what everybody's pissed off about. They're all upset about the fact that they're bigots and hypocrites. Uh, they're okay with Nazi flags, but they're not okay with gay pride flags. They're okay with flags for two fascist asshats, one of which is a now twice indicted, soon to be convicted felon. And I'm all for the process. I'm all for it playing out. I want that to happen fairly. So when this asshole goes to jail and he's labeled a traitor, that's never going to end. The world's going to know that. So yeah, before I get rambling, that's it. That's why Republicans are pissed at, and nothing like a good old fashioned Republican scare tactic. And this one, it's the gays that are coming for you. Meanwhile, I forget who it was, and we'll talk about it later. But there was yet another Republican busted for sex crimes. But don't forget, it's the drag queens. Oh, whatever. That's it. Again, starting later this week, there'll be a placeholder up, I'm told, tomorrow or Friday at the latest, for Yergz.com. And then on there will be the place where you can find anywhere you want to listen. We've got a bunch of really cool guests in the process of being scheduled. We're just taking a look. They're going to be traveling, some coming back down here, some congressmen from Florida. They'll be traveling back down here, maybe in the studio, maybe just virtually. I'm all about, making it worth their time. So just doing something virtual would be best. So yeah, we'll keep that till we know a little bit more. But yeah, Yergz.com. We'll have the schedule. We'll have anywhere you can listen or watch the show. That way I don't have to put all kinds of stupid graphics up on the screen that we don't have enough room for all of them anyway. Literally 24 podcast directories by the end of this month. We're on about 12 of them right now, and that's going to double by the end of the hanging of that pride flag. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. And we'll see you again when we finally do talk about trans athletes. Oh, I can take that down too. Let's get rid of that. Probably should have taken that down a while ago. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. Thanks for going with me straight up the middle. We'll see you again.